So how do you track your macros in the first place? Once you begin looking into dieting, you will eventually come across macros. For ideal muscle growth, you will see around 40% protein, 30% fat, and 30% carbs. But before we get into all of this, you will also need to understand calories as well. If you're trying to gain weight, you're going to have to eat more calories than your body can burn. So if you're eating 2,500 calories, that probably isn't going to be enough for gaining weight. It's possible you can gain weight eating 3,000 calories, but based on your size and how you used to eat in your childhood, that all depends on how much calories you need to gain weight and lose weight. But just assume that you're going to need more than 3,000 calories. This is called a bulk. And if you're trying to lose weight, you got to eat less calories than your body can consume. But this doesn't mean you drop your calories by like 2,000 and you just go on a 1 week fast. You don't want to do any of that, because not only is that going to burn your fat, it's also going to burn a lot of muscle. So you're going to lose muscle if you do it at that rate. If you go super fast like that and you cut down your weight at a super high rate, then you're going to lose a lot of muscle gain, so you don't want to be doing that. Eating just a little bit under your calorie intake is what you want to do, which is called a cut. So you either want to cut or you either want to bulk 500 calories. If you like the weight that you're at right now, this is your maintenance calories. And it's always okay to stay at your maintenance as well. If you're trying to gain weight, you either want to be at a maintenance or you want to be on a bulk. Bulking and cutting is going to determine your muscle growth as well. If you're skinny and you're cutting, you're not going to see the muscle that you want. And if you're big and you're eating at a bulk, then you're not going to see the progress that you want either. So not only do you need to be keeping an eye on your fats, carbs, and protein, you also need to be keeping track of your calories, so you can either gain weight or you can lose weight or you can maintain. You probably won't be able to look like The Rock when you're only eating 1,800 calories. So now that you got the basics learned about calories, we're going to get into the macro stage. 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fats. If you can get that number, that's great, but the numbers are going to range. Your body's going to react differently. Like for me, I need more fats because of my low testosterone, so my macros are going to look different than yours. If you're trying to maintain weight, you can probably try to get on a high protein diet, and your macros will be different than mine. So for now, I just recommend that you just track your macros with whatever you're eating right now. Even if you have cheat meals, still track your macros and just see where you're at. You can use the MyPlate app or you can use MyFitnessPal. I recommend you use the MyPlate app because they have a barcode scanner on it. Once you scan that barcode, you'll be able to just pull up the exact food that you need. You're going to need a couple of measuring cups, and then you're also going to need some kind of nice little food scale. It would also help you if you take a look at the back of the nutrition label on your food. If you start looking at that and just start understanding what one serving means and how much that is and stuff. So just look at the back of the food label and get familiar with that. If you're using the back of the ingredient label on your food, you probably don't need an actual measuring scale. But if you're eating foods that don't contain a nutrition label, then you're probably going to need your scale, and you're probably going to need to Google it to see how many calories it is and all that jazz. So to keep it nice and simple, look at the back of the food label and it'll tell you how much servings is for one serving. And then you use the MyFitnessPal or the MyPlate app to track how many servings you're taking for what meal of the day. And that's basically going to be it. If you have food that doesn't have a nutrition label on it, you're going to have to get out your scale and you're going to have to weigh it out yourself, and you're going to have to Google how many servings it is for that food item.